Look, technical difficulties has me on this selfie stick, so it's gonna be wobbly. But I have the honor of sitting here with fabulous dear friend of mine. You have seen him for years teaching you how to count, like he's teaching you about the weather in a big old whale suit. Like I looked on the archives about you, sir.
Yes,
I dug. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who needs no introduction, the fabulous Dr. Francois Clemmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm really Officer Clemmons from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
This man was with Fred Rogers for God knows how many.
Well, from the very beginning.
Okay.
50 years ago.
This man was on television with Fred Rogers for 50 years.
Yes, 50 years ago we started. 1968. He started in January and I started in May.
Black people barely had rights and you was on TV. Come on, man.
I was there from the beginning.
And he was the officer, man. You was the long arm of the law.
Well,
okay.
The long arm of the law had no billy club, no key. I had no gun, and I had I didn't even have a whistle to blow for help.
Okay.
No, all I had to do was sing a song, and I sang many songs. And one of my most famous songs is, "There are many ways to say I love you. There are many ways to say I care about you. Many ways, many ways, many ways to say I love you."
See, I just mouthed it because, you don't want me singing. You want Dr. Clemmons singing.
I used to want you singing. You said singing made you nervous.
Singing is the only thing that makes me nervous. It certainly isn't talking to people. Certainly isn't talking to people about things. So we've seen Dr. Clemmons for years, decades. Many of us have grown up with him. And I have been lucky enough to call him friend with my time here at Middlebury College. And we're up in Middlebury visiting people. We're up in Vermont. And so I had to come see this fabulous man. Cause come on, son. If you know this man, how could you not come and see him, man? So
well, you're always welcome.
It's good to see you.
Your voice is higher than mine.
So we in here kicking it, talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, and the subject of health comes up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I told him that I have MS, and we start talking about that. And he's had his own battles with disease that I just said, stop. No, we're not talking about this, just me and you anymore. We got to talk to the folks out there watching about this. I'm sorry, right. I didn't mean to put my fingers in your face.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
But what was we talking about?
Well,
sir?
The thing was, I had a couple of strokes last year, and how I rebounded from those strokes was a change of attitude. In my case, I have to tell you, it was a change of life. Some decisions about what to eat. Some decisions about how to think.
Okay.
It starts, and my attitude was one of positive thinking, health thinking, only eating live food when humanly possible.
Yeah.
And, looking at probiotics and prebiotics, all kinds of things, because your second brain is here in your gut.
In your gut.
And you have to start thinking about what you're putting inside of you, because things like sugar had to go.
Nope.
Certain kinds of fats had to go.
Nope.
You don't fry foods like we used to. We might use some olive oil.
Yep.
And I actually went back to butter sometimes instead of margarine or other kinds of.
What, that grass-fed stuff?
Yeah, not anymore. I really feel that the more natural the food is, olive oil or coconut oil.
Right.
Those kinds of things.
Correct.
When I had to do that, the more natural you can actually say the food is, the better. And I buy local. Sometimes it may be a little bit more expensive, but you know what's in it. You don't want, for example, spring water, so that you don't have any residue or something in the water. When it sits there for a while, you look, if there's something white in the bottom of that glass, stop drinking it. You don't want anything that's got purple or red or green dye in it. I don't want that anymore. So you want a real tomato or real peach or real apple. I eat live natural fruits and vegetables when possible, because it's good for what's inside of you. And also the other thing, which we have to get used to, but when it's possible, eat the peeling of the fruit that you're eating or the vegetable. I got some cucumbers the other day, and I cleaned them up and I cut the tips off and stuff like that. And I only did a little bit of peeling, but that cucumber is a wonderful vegetable to eat the whole thing when it's possible. Even with the potato, when it's possible, eat the outside as well, because the vegetables, and there are what they call nutrients in those
vitamins and minerals.
Yes. And those things our body is craving. It's telling us, we want that stuff, and we get a little too sanitary. We sanitize it. We clean, and we're cleaning out the valuable things that our body needs, the healthy nutrients, the healthy vitamins. And so you have to change your way of eating, and and then the last thing I just want to get in here.
Get it in.
Yeah, is your rest, sleep. Get a routine.
Okay.
As much as possible. Now, being a writer and a singer, sometimes you're up late to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because the muse takes over and you can't necessarily help. But try to get 8 hours of sleep every single night. I really think a lot of cleansing, a lot of restorative work is done to the body at night when you are sleeping. That's the routine. That's the human body.
It is rest and repair.
That's right.
That's what sleep is.
Yes.
Rest and repair.
And it's important that you get it. It's important that you get it every single night. If you have to do it, work at night, we know there are exceptions where, people work at night. But during those times you're not working, get your 8 hours of sleep. If you find that you can't get it, catch up on the weekends. Your body craves its rest time as much as it craves being out and being active. Walking is the greatest exercise you can do. And when I'm not doing those things, meditation. It's a gift that you have that does not cost a dime.
Not a thing.
Get quiet and talk to the spirit within. Those of you who are religious, that's fine, but you do not have to have you don't have to be a Lutheran or Presbyterian or Catholic or anything like that to sit and talk to the deeper inner self, because that's healing also.
Okay. Another form of repair.
Yes.
So what was interesting about the whole thing and made me want to turn the camera is how you sort of had the stroke happen, and then how you just sort of had your own sort of moment where you were like, look, I gotta do something else here, and then you did that something else. Talk to me more about how that all went down.
Well, the first thing was when you had the stroke, you have to be quiet because the whole left side of my body quit functioning.
Wow.
So I'm right-handed, thank God. So I was able to take care of certain parts of my life activities. But the left side of my body, literally, I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't do the computer. I was doing, this.
What?
Pluck.
You had a one-hand jam going?
One hand going. I absolutely did.
What?
And also, you're exhausted in a way that's hard to describe because you haven't been doing anything.
Yeah, y'all know.
But
I know, he know. Okay.
I was exhausted. So you lay there and you think, what am I supposed to be doing? And I wasn't in any pain whatsoever. It's a very important thing. So what I feel I was being called to do was like, the computer when the software is not working.
Yeah.
And they tell you, there's nothing wrong with your computer. Turn it off, wait a few minutes, let it, and then reboot it. That's a fascinating image for the human body.
Wow.
But you reboot, you turn it off through the stroke. You go into meditation, talk with your inner, deeper self and say, what am I supposed to be doing? And I basically refocused from being a primary singer to being a writer. My whole life now doesn't just focus on singing, it focuses as much on writing. I've been published 5 or 6 times since that stroke. But that was what the universe, I had fantastic stories, fantastic ideas that went through my mind. And when I began to have feeling and stuff come back, I began to write. And I had been writing before, but not seriously. I never imagined that I would be writing for a living or that I would be paid.
Yeah.
And I have indeed been paid to write.
Apparently.
Yep. And so, believe me, listen, ask the universe, what is the lesson in this experience? And sometimes it'll surprise you. But basically, it told me, You'll sing, but now you must write. Pay attention now. Observe. Take notes, because you are being prepared for something else. So I listened, because this is not something I like. I'm an extrovert. I like to be busy.
Okay.
I like to get on with my life.
Okay.
And the idea of not being able to go but having to stay at home was not very appealing to me.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So that was one of the lessons. The other part of this was my kidneys stopped working. My lungs and my my whole breathing apparatus. I had a blood clot.
What?
I had emphysema in my lungs. It was
I barely heard about this in the other conversation. That's I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So okay, so y'all get more than me right now.
Well, I was on dialysis, and that was quite a shock that my kidneys were not functioning properly.
Bruh.
So I listened to my doctor Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I was there 4 hours a day, hooked up to the machines, and they did all the cleansing and stuff. I was obedient. Wow. I was in the process changing my almost to vegetarian eating. And sure enough, after about 6 months, the doctor said, Mr. Clemmens, the numbers are changing.
Wow.
And I said, what? He said, yes, the numbers are changing. They, you take a urine sample and the doctor analyzes the way they do. And he said, maybe we could skip Monday and we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
Bruh.
And sure enough, we did. And when I came in, he said, well, you don't need 4 hours. Because ordinarily I was hooked up 4 hours. I was so exhausted I went home and went to bed. So he said, all right, only hook you up for 2 hours and let's see. Hooked me up for 2 hours, and evidently the blood cleansing and the numbers hooked up okay. So he said, I'll see you on Friday. I came on Friday, and once again he said, let's skip Monday. So we skipped Monday again, and sure enough, when I came on Wednesday, they did the urine sample, and then they did whatever, and he said, 2 hours, maybe we'll be okay. I did it again. After about a month of this skipping Mondays,
wow,
he said, let's skip 2 days. So we skipped Monday and Wednesday, and I came only on Friday. And he said, you're still improving. What are you doing? And I said, I'm praying.
Okay.
I'm praying and I'm meditating, and I've become almost a vegetarian. I'm eating live food as much as possible. And I'm drinking, water. I'm hydrating myself in a very regular basis, 5, 6, 7 glasses of water a day, as much as I can. And he said, this is fantastic. In my 30 years of practice as a medical doctor, I've never had a patient go on dialysis and begin to come off the way you are. The numbers improve.
Wow.
So sure enough, he said, after a while, once a month. Come see me once a month.
What?
So some friends of mine took me up to Burlington to the doctor, and he went through the procedure and stuff with me, and he said, Dr. Clemmons, maybe you shouldn't come back for a month or two.
Bruh.
If you have any trouble, you can always get in touch. We are, available for you. And if you feel anything whatsoever, don't hesitate. Sure enough, that month, I went up, fine. 2 months, fine. He said, let's take 6 months. You keep doing everything that you're doing. And I said, what's your religion? He said, I'm Jewish. I said, please pray to your Jewish gods while I'm praying to my gods.
Okay.
And I'll meditate and see what happens. 6 months I went back to see him, and he said, you don't have to come back anymore, Dr. Clemmons. I'm not sure what's going on, but the numbers say you're almost normal. And if you continue to improve like this, we don't have to think about dialysis anymore.
Wow.
And I said, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I did not want to be hooked up to that machine anymore. So I gave thanks to Almighty God, all things are done through God and through grace. But I certainly changed my way of living. And I said, I'm not going to eat anymore some of those things I used to eat, like, sugar with chocolates and desserts and whatever.
Yo, this man can hook up a pancake.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to
please.
tell you.
I used to do that all the time.
He could hook them up, son.
Oh, I used to love to entertain that way. And, I do far less. I also like to drink. I've never had a problem with liquor. I just enjoy a vodka. Okay. And I sat there and I thought to myself, wow, that's not too much to give up. Maybe once a month. I don't particularly care for wine. It's okay. It's not my drink. I like good old straight vodka. So I decided once a month. I might have some Grey Goose or
Right.
some, whatever. And I found that I could give that up too because I wanted to be healthy. I also gave up most meats. I don't eat steak. I don't eat hamburgers. I don't think there's anything wrong with them for the average person.
Yeah.
But I found that I felt a lot healthier when I let that heavy red meat go. So I might have a piece of fish. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Okay.
So I never ate shrimp or lobster or clams. None of that ever. But I did like, catfish or whitefish or bluefish.
Yeah, you did. You're from Birmingham. You know you love some catfish.
I love catfish. And I'll have it, once in a while. I don't feel deprived.
Yeah.
But I do feel, if you're going to follow this regime, that it's vegetarian satisfies me.
Yeah.
I developed a great taste for yogurt. That surprised me. I eat a lot of yogurt and mix some blueberries or some strawberries or some peaches. I like natural foods like that, and I find that satisfies me tremendously.
This man who has been around the world and back many times and has a special place in many, many people's hearts has hit the same. No. It's true. It hit a wall, just like me, just like you. You will eventually hit a wall somewhere, sometime. And it kind of sort of, it boils down to like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
And you make changes. I'm not gonna eat that. No, I'm not gonna drink that. No, I'm gonna meditate. No, I'm going to pray.
Yes.
No, this is a different life that I have right now.
It's quality of life.
It's quality of life. And it just shows disease, it comes up to snatch you up and say, what you were doing before, you can't do that no more.
No, you cannot.
So make some adjustments, and we'll keep you on this earth a little bit more.
A little longer, yes.
You won't have any machines to mess with.
Nope. It's wonderful. It gives you a lot of faith in your own power. You take credit and you take ownership of your health and certain decisions about how you're going to live. You don't want to be crippled. You don't want to be in pain.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of the doctors that I did see at that time were surprised that I did not have a lot of pain. And I simply give credit to God that it's not that I have a high threshold or anything like that. I didn't have any.
It just wasn't there.
No, I didn't have any. And I said that over and over. I don't have any pain, doctor, and I'm very grateful. Because if I did, I'd tell you and I'd take one of those pills. But I'm glad I don't have that kind of an addictive personality where, there are people who get into drugs if they're taking oxycodone or something. And like I had 2 knee replacement surgeries. And as soon as the period of time that the doctor and I agreed, I stopped taking them. I never had the desire for any more, any extra or whatever. When I got finished, I got well, I was walking again. I gave the pills to him and I said, we need to get rid of these.
Wait, so you don't got no pills no more?
No, I don't.
You sure?
No, I don't.
I was trying to get some pills, y'all.
I don't have any of that stuff in my house.
Keep
I don't need it. And I'm very grateful that I don't need it. Even when I had the stroke, I only had the only indication that I had a mild headache 2 or 3 times earlier. And I thought to myself, I'll go take an Alka-Seltzer or a couple of Tylenols.
I'm going to put something else on top of this.
Well, I never had a headache before, so I didn't quite know how to manage it. I just am not a person who has headaches.
That's like some Paul Bunyan stuff. Like here's a man, his name is Francois, never had a headache in his day. Like,
that voice sounds pretty good for somebody who claims not to want to sing and cannot do this, cannot do that.
I can't sing well.
Well,
everybody can sing.
You do just fine. You do just fine.
Somebody's trying to call you.
Somebody's trying to word me, and I'm here trying to take care of this. Let me see.
Who there?
Whoever it is, they can call back.
Yeah, but call back, y'all.
Yeah, y'all call back.
Okay.
There we go. We'll turn that off.
Let them hear the awesome voicemail message that this man has a fabulous voicemail message when he sings, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, though, we digress.
I consider it a blessing that I still have my voice at my age. And I sang, I did a, what do they call it, convocation yesterday at a college here in southern Vermont.
Okay.
And the one thing that I felt is tremendously invigorated by the experience. It didn't make me tired to do it. Once it was over, I came down. I was up to Mount Olympus, and then I was very, very tired. But it wasn't the kind of tired where I felt I'd done something wrong. Instead, I had done something that was so enriching for me as well as for the audience. And so I'm going to continue that work. I'll do that, but I read some excerpts from my book. So be on the lookout. A book is going to be coming out.
Look, okay.
That book will be about my life. As a boy, I was called Buttercup. So it's going to be...
You call it Buttercup, that's
yes, it'll be about young little Buttercup.
Yes!
And then me as a teenager and...
And I've got to pick the lady up in like another hour or so.
okay.
That was just a little reminder saying, don't have too much fun with Dr. Clemmons. You got to come and get the lady. Anyway.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came back east. These are your secondary roots.
Please.
Coming back to Vermont.
Here's the deal. Again, we all hit a wall. And some of us hit it sooner than others. And you have some real decisions to make, some choices. You can just keep being stubborn and keep doing what you always known to do and what you like to do, or you say, well, that's done now. Now I have something else to do, and you switch your diet, and you switch. You pray more, and you meditate more, and you say whatever that other life I had is done. This is my life now, and I love it. And thank you. You still give the thanks for it, and you keep moving. That's what happened with this vlog. Like, that's even what's happening with this video session. I'm on the shaky selfie stick because the other camera was broken. And I tested it out before I left home, even before I left today, and it still wasn't working. But I was like, no, this is going to happen. I will make it happen.
We found a way.
Okay.
We have found a way. This is wonderful.
Dr. Clemmons, you've given us some marvelous and wonderful tips to really, shake it up and get your health back. And this is why you guys watch this channel. So I'm glad you guys watch. I'm glad you talk to me a little bit about what's going on with you. And now I'm going to keep kicking it with the good doctor until it's time to go. But the video making portion is over. So, okay, bye.
Bye, y'all.